G. Bush, Adam Schefter on the Adam Schefter podcast the other day mentioned a familiar name in terms of a potential option for the Browns to look at as a bridge quarterback this offseason. So here's 36 seconds of Adam Schefter on his podcast talking about a quarterback I think some people will be excited about.
How about Joe Flacco, who's already led the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs 2 years ago? And there were people in the organization that wanted to keep him. He wanted to play. They let him go because there was some division there. He went to Indianapolis, went fine. But Joe Flacco back to Cleveland could be the perfect bridge quarterback for when Cleveland drafts a quarterback. I expect to be high. So you have Flacco as the potential starter or the rookie if he's ready. Flacco's a great guy to have in the locker room. I think Joe Flacco could be in play in Cleveland.
G. Bush?
Totally agree with that. Sorry.
Well, Dustin, we can
start with me.
We start with him.
That's fine. I love that idea. I think it makes a lot of sense. Deshaun's not going to be around, so that whole – I mean, again, going back to when Flacco was here in that offseason, it seemed like there was a little bit of – Deshaun's camp didn't want to have any sort of divisiveness between him versus Flacco because Flacco had a nice run the previous season. So that issue's gone. Flacco can still play. I mean, the guy can throw a deep ball as well as anybody in the league. We know he can run this offense. We know he's cool with running the offense and being the bridge quarterback, which is what the Browns are going to need. We know he'll work with young quarterbacks because the Browns are going to draft a young quarterback. I think this is the perfect fit if they're not going to go a route like Daniel Jones, who's younger, which is another option. I like Flacco a lot.
When you hear Flacco's name, sometimes people conjure up like, oh my goodness, he was killing. Now, he played very well while he was here, given the circumstance. The only thing I think about is him saying, "Hey, listen, I'm not really a mentor type guy. I feel like I'm still one of the best dudes to play football." And look, I don't begrudge him for that because that's the mentality you got to have. Like, I'm the best at doing what I'm going to do. I don't want to be no babysitter, and I think it might be more palatable now because I don't think Deshaun Watson is in the mix, and you need more quarterbacks. 2 more quarterbacks. You're going to probably draft one. If I'm mistaken, McNuggets, he's not under contract. Couldn't they just sign him today?
Well, not till free agency starts.
Okay,
he was with the Colts last year. You can only sign guys who were not on a team at the end of the league calendar.
Okay.
Before the start of the tampering period.
Okay, so look, if put it to you like this, you got Kirk Cousins. You got Joe Flacco. Kirk Cousins is coming off an injury. Joe Flacco isn't. Joe Flacco played last year. He knows the system. People love him. My problem is this. Do you think this is an issue? If you get Flacco and you have a young quarterback, people love Flacco here, bro.
Oh, yeah.
They love him. And if you was trying to get your young guy into the season, because usually that's the Jacoby Brissett role. I'm going to let Jacoby Brissett play for like 8 weeks. You already know he's going to throw yourself out of some games, and we're going to bring this young boy in. But that might not necessarily be like a thing you can do, not necessarily if you're trying to figure out if you're going to play a young guy at least a few games this year, because Flacco is going to play well enough, and people love him. So it's all about what you want to do. Like, how high of a level of a bridge do you want? Do you want the top of the line, Tyvis, at that bridge, where Flacco can win you some games? Or you want that mid bridge where it's like, give me Jacoby Brissett, and Jacoby, he might win you 3 games, but I could play my rookie.
What I will say is both of those names are fine. I think either one of those are the right answer for who the Browns should select their quarterback for the free agency. Reason for both is Joe Flacco just did it last season with Anthony Richardson, where I know he don't want to be a mentor and all those things. He came in, then he got benched again, and then Anthony Richardson kind of just took over for the rest of the season. So he was groomed into that last year.
Right.
So coming back here for the Cleveland Browns, if you want to get fans excited about the start of the season, because they'll be excited, but if you really want to get them excited, Joe Flacco is going to be the starting quarterback for the first whatever, until you feel like the young guy is ready to go, and then they'll take it over. I don't think he'll be that upset because he just did it last year. to where Jacoby Brissett, same thing. Jacoby Brissett with Drake May, he was the starting quarterback. Oh, we're rolling with Jacoby. We're rolling with Jacoby. And then, boom, Drake May comes in, and that was the end of it. So these are two guys that already know the deal. It's like JB Bickerstaff. You go get him until he gets into a certain point. He's like, all right, we're going to get the real guy to take us the rest of the way. That's how these two guys were groomed last season. So they're already mentally there already. Like, they know what the deal is. And I think that those two guys would be perfect because those two guys ran Kevin's system the best. And, you know, you could say I know Joe Flacco was the Super Bowl MVP and all those things, but Joe Flacco is towards the end of his career, and Jacoby Brissett has been a journeyman up until that point. But those two guys, you won't say that they're the best quarterback in the league. You won't say they got the strongest arm. You won't say that they're the fastest. None of that. These were just average at that point of their life. They were just average quarterbacks, and they played very well in this system. So you go get a quarterback that has the intangibles, that's fast or that can throw the ball, that's got great arm talent, got all that, and you put him in the room with these guys and just hear them talk and how they broke the game down and how they were able to be successful. They can add that to their repertoire, and they'll already be better if they can get the mentality of these guys, Joe Flacco and Jacoby Brissett. They already have better arm talent. They already are better athletes than they were, so they should be able to flourish. The biggest thing what made Joe and Jacoby so great, outside of the fact that they were tremendous leaders, was the fact that they were really good with play action. They were good with putting their back to the defense, which we talk about Deshaun. Deshaun, I don't really want to do that. Like, I want to be able to see the entire defense the whole time. But remember, I think we had Joe on the show. We had Joe on the show, and he was talking about how he was just comfortable just snapping that picture. And then when you come back after the play action, you look back up and you snap another picture and see what it is. A lot of quarterbacks, especially young quarterbacks in college, we running spread and we doing all this. We don't know how to really put our back to the defense because that's not what we do. So you need to learn that from a veteran that you see every single day, and those two guys were the best at it when they were here in Cleveland.
That was so cold, man. You know what? This is crazy, man.
You know, some people say like I'm like Barack. You know, I could talk really well.
I want to hire you as the secretary.
Here you go again, man. You done said this already.
Secretary, listen, I got Project Stockpile, but Tyvis has Project Propaganda. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Do you understand what he just sold you? He just told you, look, if Jimmy, if you're watching, this is how you do it. You need something to fleece these fans. You need a smooth fleece job. If you go get think about this, you go get you Flacco. You bring back all that old nostalgia. People is happy. Jimmy went out and did what he should have did.
Bust out
the first
that
time.
15 jersey again.
Get that 15 jersey. You see him.
Flacco Valley.
Then you go draft. You know people like the nice guy right there that's in front of your face, but they want a shiny new toy that they can always dream that's better. So then you go draft a quarterback. So now you got a quarterback of the future plus stability with Joe Flacco, and then you say, all right, we're going to jump back into the first round. You know what we're going to do? I know that y'all missing Nick Chubb. I know. Listen, is Travion Henderson around? Is he around? He's a Buckeye. You love him. Yeah, I give you a shiny Buckeye. So look at all the toys you got now.
Yeah, you get a Buckeye here. It's on.
God forbid they bring in Will Howard.
Woo! Don't let Will Howard be in that third, fourth round.
Will and Joe?
Bro.
Oh, man, we back.
The Project Propaganda would be so tight that people would be like, listen, Browns won 4 games. And listen, it's all about progress. They'll start talking like this is 76ers, McNuggets. This is all about the process. This is the big process, this journey. That was a beautiful run. I wouldn't mind if they won 4 games with that. Tyvis, I feel good about that. Down the field passing, come on.
I mean, listen, you got to feed Judy. You got to feed Njoku.
Right.
You got to get these guys the ball, and obviously pushing the ball down the field is the best way to do it. The Njoku played his best. The Njoku fell off. I know he got hurt, but he was not the same. But you know who had him looking really good? Joe Flacco did. You know, we was talking about when we had, back in that time, we had Marquise Goodwin, and we couldn't get a ball down the field. Joe Flacco got it down the field. We had Amari Cooper, who was a great – Amari broke the single-game record. Joe Flacco was the quarterback.
So you bringing back Elijah Moore too?
I mean, Elijah didn't really flourish like that. Elijah,
That's where we draw the line.
The eight ball and ran out, man. It hurts my heart. The 8 ball is gone, man.
Now listen, if that I'm just with Flacco, what is it? Are you sure, Dustin, that Flacco can get how many? Because he's played 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. Can he last the whole year?
Oh yeah, he can. I mean, obviously, I'm predicting him not to get sacked 100 times a game, but I mean, yeah, I think he can last the whole year. It's like we're asking him to do a ton.
He lasted all of last year, right? I mean, I know he didn't start.
He played 8 games last year.
Yeah, he didn't start every game, but
I listen.
He hasn't played more than 9 games in a season since 2017.
Well, that's even perfect for even more reason why he's perfect for a bridge guy.
And if you're Kevin Stefanski, he's one of the guys that I would definitely look at between him and Kirk Cousins that can definitely keep your job. Because the way Flacco leads people and the way people rally around him, you're not going to have Nick Chubb. You don't have, at least you'll have Joe Bitonio coming back as far as some leadership goes. But I think Flacco might have enough oomph and enough mojo and leadership skills that you might win some games that you shouldn't win.
Listen, you gotta at least make this offense feel like they can do something.
Right.
And I sent y'all a clip of when Cody Kessler was on NFL Network the other day, and he was talking about when he took his first snaps with the Browns against Miami, and
Kessler.
Cody, you ain't see this one? You was on the cruise, so you probably
haven't seen it, but I do remember when he started against
he was talking. He went over the first 3 plays and they were terrible, but he was explaining like how he was nervous and all this stuff got to him and all these things, and he was saying like, here I am talking to Joe Thomas in the huddle, trying to tell Joe, like, to make Joe think like he's supposed to be confident in me, and here I am stuttering, I can't get the snap off and all these things. And I know Joe is thinking, like, we got to deal with this for, like, the next 7 weeks and stuff like that. If you don't bring somebody to the huddle, like, that can command that, like, if I'm Judy or if I'm Bitonio, like, all right, so let's go ahead. We got 17 of these things. Come on, let's just go do these 17 games. Like, no. But, like, when Joe was out there, it was like, everybody was on it. Like, we was all turned. Like, oh, my goodness. We believe it. Remember they said Joe ended up snatching who? Teller or something? Somebody was celebrating, yelled at him and whatnot, got him to lock back in. Like, you need that type of command in the offense, in the huddle right now. You got to at least give these players something to hope for on Sunday.
Listen, forget, they said make America great again. Make Sundays fun again.
I'm telling you.
That's all I want.
I'm telling you.
Make Sundays fun again. Like that's the motto. I don't want to hear about our window. I don't want to hear about whether we're competing.
Make Sundays
I just want Sundays to be fun because I'm here to tell you, hey, we cover this stuff for a living. I know through the chats and everybody that covered the Browns. Last year was the nastiest year I've ever. Like, I didn't even want to watch it. Sundays, I was like, yeah, let me watch the first quarter. I'm gonna get on the game. I'm gonna get on the NCAA. This ain't here, especially at the end of the year.
The end of the year was
brutal.
And I had to do the radio.
Bro, I would listen to you in the car, but Tyvis is up here dying. Spin that one. But I just want it to be fun. And Joe Flacco will give me some fun. I can look forward to the quarterback. Even if you listen, even if you want to. Even if they say, yo, now, see, this is why people call me Duke of Knee Jerk, because I've already been on record saying what I want to do, but I might say this. But even you say, can you imagine him spamming the rock to Travis Hunter? Can you imagine Joe Flacco just throwing deep balls to Travis Hunter?
You come see it.
And then they'd be like, oh, we got Milroe. We gonna put him in the Wildcat package. We got him in the second round.
Hey, man.
That gives you some. At least it's fun. At least it's fun.
Milroe break a long run. At least it's like, oh man, that's
look
great.
at this.
Look at that.
Look at this Wildcat package. Look at this.
Just give just something. Like,
something.
It just got to be something.
Yeah. Now that you done got me hype on Flacco again, because it's nostalgia. Like, we act like he didn't throw 10 picks against Houston.
He threw 2 pick sixes. Was it 2 pick sixes?
He's got 15 picks in his last 2 seasons.
Hey, boy.
Not including the playoffs.
Him and Jameis Winston, they have no emotions when it comes to it either.
Well, that's how you got to be.
That's how you got to be. I rock out, but I would take Flacco. Hey man, what about a poll? How many people would like Flacco back?
Well, I already did that for you, G. I'll give you the answer right now. We're one step ahead of you. We put the poll up in the chat and said, would you be in favor of a Flacco reunion? And the answer is, if I can
70%
get the stupid
yes.
AI stuff out of the way. YouTube now is this thing where AI generates what the chat's talking about.
Yeah.
That's great, except it covers up the poll results and super chats. So it's out of the way. We said, would you be in favor of a Joe Flacco reunion? 63% said yes, sign me up. 36%, 37%, it's going back and forth, says no, he's old and washed.
That's a lot of people. It would be fun. I don't have. There's really no better options, to be truthful, guys. I mean,
No.
Joe, Jacoby, or I guess Kirk Cousins.
I mean,
but
Cousins, Daniel Jones.
that's it.
the Daniel Jones thing.
I'm cool.
Unless you really feel like you can fix him, like that be.
There's no fixing that.
I mean, Larry, they said the same thing about Darnold and Geno and all these people.
That's not Darnold.
I think
had
you
way
play
more
in you
promise.
play in the Big Apple. You need to like get out of that system and be given another opportunity. I'm not saying Cleveland's going to be the right spot for him. Daniel Jones has ability.
I mean, he lit us up. He lit us
And
up
he
last
can run.
year.
He can run too.
Yeah.
He's a good runner.
Yeah.
That's what I can say about Daniel Jones, the quarterback.